It's episode 354 with the 365 Message Center show, and today we'll be talking about some changes with the web searches in Microsoft 365 Copilot. Got to make them easier. Don't want to exclude those. It's kind of where the value is, isn't it? General availability of agents in SharePoint for Microsoft 365 Copilot. And so that's, what is this, the Copilot show? Did I choose another? No, I chose a SharePoint one for my third one. So Microsoft SharePoint add approvals to any document library. I approve of that. Do you approve of that, Daniel? Let's go.
Yes, sir, I approve.
Excellent. You approve that message?
Well, we'll see. We'll see after who's covering it. Are you covering it? Oh, I am. So I definitely approve of it. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So glad you're here. We'd love for you to connect with us online on all the socials that matter at 365 MCS. And we'd also like for you to connect with us in the chat if you're watching the video. You can chat with us down below in the comment section of this video. Give us a thumbs up, pretty please, so that others can find us. If you're listening to the audio, then congratulations. You
and it also means that the please doesn't have to be pretty because you're just hearing it, not seeing it.
I know, this is what I'm saying.
A pretty voice.
We definitely have faces for radio. Congratulations, but give us a 5-star rating on the app that you're listening the podcast to, so we can other people can hear us and find us that way as well. That helps all the AI point people in the right direction.
Yeah, the stuff that matters. Well, Daniel, it's a good collection of messages that we did cull down from quite a list, and there were actually some repeats there that I didn't pick up on that you so rightly pointed out.
Well, there's a couple that they updated, and our viewers and listeners out there probably noticed this as well this week and didn't mark it as updated. And so I looked at them and I couldn't figure out what they had updated in the message. So that was interesting.
Let me. I have to come up with a reasonable segue because you are the king when it comes to this. I think sometimes I feel like you're not even listening to when I'm covering a message, and you're just thinking of the segue. That,
are you saying
that comes out.
See how right there,
like that.
You said I'm not listening, and then I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, look, I don't feel like this connected experience is serving me well, so. I'll leave it up to you now.
Manage web services in Copilot separately from optional connected experiences with new policy. MC 910984. So connected experiences, those are the plugins, if you will, for Copilot to be able to not just look at your tenant content, the content, the documents and the pages and such that are in your tenant, but also outside of your tenant. And right now that is really administered the controlled via one setting, but now we're going to get the two settings of allow web search in Copilot policy, as well as a connected experiences policy. So this means we will be able to say, you can't use the other stuff, but you can use the web experience, which is, I think, good. And especially, if you've turned it off, then people can only experience Copilot using content in your tenant. Well, that's great, except when you're trying to generate something, and generate a document based upon content that's not in your tenant, then how does that even work? And it doesn't work very well at all. So being able to manage that, it will be in the admin center, and it talks about it's in the config.office.com when it does roll out. And I think for me, this is great so that I use the web connected experience all the time. I when I'm trying to get answers, I want. I'm not saying it's for everything. In fact, we talked about on the live show where we culled things down, and we're going to be talking about agents in a little bit. I'll cover that message. That there is really a use case for using Copilot just with your documents, right? There is many use cases. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but there's also many use cases that needs to have that web experience, that knowledge of the web. So, anything you want to say about that, Daryl?
Then it wouldn't be a quick message. I do have something to add, but
sure, go ahead.
When we have other connected experiences, which used to be called plugins, it's admins that are adding those to our Copilot experience, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so indeed. Isn't it already kind of a granular on and off thing anyway? Like, why would we turn off the whole thing when we actually have the ability to say, you can use this one and this one, but not this one?
Yeah. I don't know.
Good question. Let's finish on that.
Great question. So this is going to be rolling out early November 2024, completed by mid-November 2024. So that was a quick message. Let's get on to another quick message. But I need to make sure that this message is coming from the real Daryl and is not being impersonated. So how do I know it's really you?
Well, I keep my head still like this and say things in a slightly varied tone. But you might have a closer look in at the pixels around my head and see slightly blurred to say that it is Daryl's face that's been cut out. No, yeah, enough of that. And, podcast listeners aren't going to get that at all. But the message, Microsoft Teams brand impersonation protection for Teams chat. This is MC 910976. Have you been bothered by some of these pesky chat spammers, which will send you a message and appear to be coming from chat, trying to say something to you, trying to sell you something, trying to trick you into providing detail that you shouldn't? And it all looks kind of legit unless you take a closer look and see, no, this is not really Microsoft, this is Microsoft. So this only really affects organizations that are allowing external chat, allowing that federation and being able to receive chats from that. There's been a few measures already put in place, like when you're getting a message for the first time from someone who is external, that you can allow or block or choose to ignore. But this goes one further, and it's all about protecting that domain name and making sure that it is truly you. So good to have this feature come in, and it's important from a security perspective because, like Daniel and I were talking earlier in the message sorting, that we are aware of those little tells that we can spot and see, but sometimes when we're under pressure and we're just trying to get work done, that at a glance we might not quite see that this is not legit. So it's good that we have this.
I do have something to say about this, if I may. I know it's supposed to be quick. Is that it does talk about when these things happen and are detected, that admins can check the audit log for impersonation attempts. My suggestion is actually that admins should set up alerts rather than going in and occasionally looking at the audit logs to see if they're happening, because users don't read. They just don't. And so, you're going to have some circumstances where hopefully it's very few, where people just click the buttons, because if you look at the screenshot, they have to click the thing and say accept, and then it pops up again and says, are you sure? There's going to be people who say, yes, I need to get to it. It says this person is from security. I need to, so I would suggest to admins, create an alert so that you can see it and make sure that those people did not actually, and because if they're sitting there chatting and they're like, please provide your password or your blah blah whatever confidential, then maybe you could send them a message and be like, if you're chatting with so and so, please stop, or whatever.
So that it's a bit like those YouTube videos of the people that are protecting others from being hacked or scammed. You've seen some of those before?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
a bit like that when they have that side conversation. Don't go to the bank. Don't give them the gift card. Oh, but never mind.
But they're yeah.
They sound legit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Targeted release will begin rolling out October 2024. That's now, or late October, I should say. Expect to be complete late October. So actually, it's not now. It's soon and soon. General availability worldwide. We will begin rolling out mid-November and expect it to be complete by mid-November. So I think maybe they roll it out and it only takes a week.
Mm.
Yeah? Yeah. I mean, nice that things are available in a week. Generally available, generally speaking. But is there something else that you can generally talk about, Daniel, in that space?
Oh, man. General availability of agents in Microsoft 365 Copilot MC911617. So as was announced last month in the Microsoft 365 Copilot Wave 2 moment event extravaganza, I don't know, that Microsoft had, they announced this thing called agents, and it is a way for you to create these experiences in Copilot that looks at specific content, and this is kind of what we've been talking about doing anyway for a while, using Copilot Studio, but being able to create agents in BizChat or in Teams to be able to look at specific documents and content in your tenant to provide answers. And this is a big one, I think, for organizations. I think every medium to large organization should have several of these. And I say that because things like benefits, things like IT could have for help desk. I mean, think of the options there of providing people answers so that they quit creating tickets over and over about the same thing. Finance for reimbursements, equipment requests. I mean, you can think all these things would be great if you could just go to a Copilot and ask it a question and it's grounded in the content, specific content that you say it should be grounded in. Well, that's what these agents are. So this announcement is general availability. It's coming. It's not just coming. It's rolling out now. So this is, we don't really have a timeline other than it's rolling out now, and they're targeting it to be done rolling out by the end of November. So, whether it's coming to targeted before it comes to standard tenant, we don't know. I'm thinking that's probably the case, but it is rolling out now. So in this message, there are links to go learn about it and how to do it, all that kind of stuff. So I would say click on those and give it a shot. So definitely go do that.
I will.
Okay. I'm so glad. And also, what you could do, Daryl, maybe, if Microsoft enabled it, maybe you could click on one of those links, and then while in Edge, you could actually ask Copilot to, summarize or something the content.
Now, you accused me of half reading the message title. That was, okay, listen, okay, just recall, everyone, what Daniel has said, and now listen to the title. Microsoft Copilot in Edge will support page summarization and user prompt suggestions.
I didn't say the last part. I didn't.
Yeah, true. You left me a little bit there. MC912175. Not that I'm worried about stealing my thunder. Whatever. I like your summarization of the summarization. What we're picking up on here is, I guess it's actually in this first line. I love this. So starting early November 2024, I can almost say this in movie guy voice, Microsoft Copilot in Edge will once again support page summarization, which lets users summarize once again. This is like Copilot returns or Copilot 2.
Yes.
Will once again allow you to summarize an open web page or a PDF. Woohoo! Why did they take it away? We had thoughts about that, but it's good to see it come back. Now, this means that, in Edge, open up one of your favorite web pages or whatever, and go over and open up the Copilot panel and click Summarize, or do the same thing with your PDF, and it will consume that content that's currently on the page. Yay! What do you need? You need to be able to be signed in with a account. Is this limited to just Microsoft 365 accounts? We don't think so, because as we read a bit further down, it talks about signing in and using Microsoft Copilot, not Microsoft 365 Copilot. And if you want to really get into the detail about what is supported or which type of account, there is a wonderful little link down the bottom for learn more. Daniel and I also chuckled a little at the picture within this message. Great to see pictures, but go to Wikipedia and ask Copilot to summarize Wikipedia. Like you say, Daniel, like the first 2 or 3 sentences are usually kind of a summary of the whole article anyway, so well done. But yeah, good to see it once again in product. Daniel, how do you feel about it?
No, I agree. When we were talking about this before, it was all about security, data protection. So what this is we're actually going to be able to, again, and when we're logged in, and I think this is the key for this message, is when you're logged in with your Intra account, then when you're doing work, remember when you're chatting with Copilot's work or web, you could be able to say, summarize this on the web and whatever, then it's going to do it. But I think it definitely had that tie-in because of the security of, they took it away because they're like, oh, we don't have the data protection set up quite yet for this. And so that's what it is.
Right.
I mean, and
even though they said,
that.
Wasn't that one of the big selling points was, you sign in, your data's protected. Yeah. So what, they discovered that it wasn't?
I don't know. I don't have inside information here. I'm reading, between the lines, as it were.
Yep.
That maybe that's what it is.
That's kind of what Copilot does, right? Reads between the lines.
Because if you do it now, it gives you a error, kinda. It just Copilot gives you page summarization is temporarily unavailable as we finish upgrading to enterprise data protection standards. So there you go.
Nice explanation there. Yep. Mm-hmm. And that will be generally available worldwide. We will begin rolling out early November, expected to be complete mid-November. Good. Lots of good things coming in November. I approve of that message. Okay. If all the messages were together in a library somewhere, maybe we could work through those approvals.
Microsoft SharePoint. Add approvals to any document library. MC 912181. And as Daryl just said, it's adding approvals to any library for documents that you might have.
Any further value to add to that message?
I was waiting. Are you going to keep going? So as Microsoft talked about and announced adding approvals to any list, that rolled out earlier this year. So this is rolling out for libraries. So you'll have approvals for any library that you're using will have approvals availability, which is great, right? Because you're going to have that automate menu, the approvals in the automate menu to be able to add that. And I think that is a big one because when you start thinking about, the approvals and it actually mentions it here too. There's in Teams, right? Because SharePoint backs the files in Teams. So, bringing this all together where we can have approvals that actually can run on anything, any list or library is huge. So there is some screenshots here, and you can go in. It shows you how to, for anybody that has the permissions to configure the library, to go in and to turn it on. When you do turn it on, it does, put in a approvals column, status column, of course, right? Because if you're turning on approvals, we want to know if it's approved or not. So the one thing that says in that modal there in the screenshot in the second one, you can disable approvals at any time and hide the column. However, in progress approvals will still be available in Teams. So, just because you disable it, if there's things that are in progress, then, you're not going to just truncate it and be like, no, we're not doing that. So it's still going to be something available for those in Teams. So, what do you think, Daryl? Are you excited about this? You gave a very short, in our live show, you gave a very short response to this. We said, okay, here's this message. What did you say?
I said, yep, let's cover it. Moving on.
Yeah, that's exactly
Only because I think it's good to see approvals come to any documents, any file in a document library, and that it's going to be easy to enable that. It's using a combination of that column, but also is it Power Automate in the background to manage that flow
Correct.
as well? Yeah. So look, it's just good to be able to have a simple option where if you need something approved, you can do so. I don't know. Like it says document libraries. I don't know if this includes pages libraries. So I mean, you can do this too for pages as well, like approving a page for publishing. I don't know if it's using the same mechanism, but would you know that, Daniel? Is this something that you turn on and it's going to cover all libraries or just document libraries?
It does specifically say document libraries because it is in conjunction with the approvals app in Teams. So pages are not surfaced in Teams, through the files or shared with you or the shared, but that's only in chat. So I think it's just going to be document libraries. I'm not sure if it's going to be pages. It doesn't call that out.
Yeah.
But maybe I will check on that and drop the answer into the comments down below. So maybe check that out. Maybe we'll have an answer soon. So this one is rolling out for targeted release early November and expected to be completed by late November 2024. General availability worldwide GCC will be rolling out early December 2024 and hopefully have it by New Year, completed by late January 2025, I'm assuming. It says 2024, but I assume that means 2025. I think that's a pretty safe assumption. So anyway, I'm also assuming that when people hear Daryl's voice, they know it's him. They just know it. But, sometimes we have to let the AI know who we are, right, Daryl? So tell us how we're going to let the AI take over and know who we are.
Take over?
Yeah, well.
Take over. Yeah, I recognize that voice. You are marked. I am coming for you.
Maybe.
No, it's not that. Microsoft Teams' new policy for voice and face enrollments will be default on. Configure now. This is MC 912707, a feature in Teams where you can enroll your voice, enroll your visage, your face. I know. And what's the purpose of that? Well, one big advantage of this is that let's say that you're in a meeting room with 3 or 4 different people. You're all using the same mic. You're all using the same camera. And one of the useful features of Copilot and something in Teams Premium, you get your AI notes. Who said what? Well, you can't really tell when it's the same mic and the same camera in the same room with 4 or 5 other people. So this enrollment means this is what Daryl sounds like. This is what Daniel sounds like. And then in the transcript, you'll get that nice breakdown for that. And this message is about turning on that enrollment as part of the policy. It'll be default on. Now, this does not mean that it's going to automatically enroll your voice and your face without you choosing yes or no.
For now.
For now. What it means is that the feature will be turned on and you can go to an area in Teams settings to go through that enrollment process. So it's still an option you take as a person. Like one other benefit that comes to mind too is it improves voice isolation. So if you do enroll your voice, then it has a better job of separating your voice from a noisy environment. So there's other benefits to it as well. But it is your choice about whether you actually go through the process or not. Just the default will be it's going to be available to you. For organizations that don't want to make that available, you have the option to turn it off, and then it won't be turned on or available for people to go through that process. That is how I would summarize that.
So basically it's turned off right now by default, but it will be turned on by default. So
yes,
if you want it to stay off, you have to configure. Got it.
Yep. And the dates around that? When will this happen? General availability, worldwide GCC, the blah, 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 PowerShell commands, blah, 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 blah. Policy takes effect, blah, blah, read it yourself. Mid-January 2025.
Oh, my God.
And complete by mid-January 2025.
That's why they say configure it now.
Yeah, do it now.
Yeah.
Do it now. In fact, another thing that we can do now is finish up.
Okay, that sounds great to me. Remember to share out this episode, please. Pretty please, will you do me a favor and do that? Share out the episode, post it to your teams internally, post it to socials, all the socials that matter, and tag us at 365MCS. We will give you a special thank you for doing that. Share it out. Hey, watch this show, listen to this show, and we can have more of you participating also in our live show where we do a sorting. We'd love for you to join us. That's the Friday afternoons in the US. It's Friday evenings, kind of late, around 9-ish, 10-ish at night in Europe. And then Saturday mornings over where Daryl lives down under. And we'd love for you to join us for that show as well to help us frame and sort the show. We'd love for you to participate.
Excellent. See you again next week, everyone. Bye for now.